can make us like perk up. So anything that has like a similar sound in singing is going to like draw attention. The best thing to do is to use those strategically. So what I tell my students is, like, when you're singing a song, the song is almost like a story. Like, you think of it that way, it should always be growing in energy up to a point where there's a release, and then there's like a kind of come down period at the end. Sit down with the song and start to map it out. And I've actually seen actors do this. When I was in performing arts college, some of the people who were more experienced and more educated actors, I would see them with their script and they would like write down, like underline, and then they'd note like, remember the feeling of this, like next to a line, to kind of help them bring the right feeling, the right emotion and delivery to the line. So it's the same thing with a song when I'm coaching singers in the studio. If I coach them live, I would like when I've prepared people for auditions for like musical theater, we also do this kind of thing too, depending on how experienced they are. So distance, sense of being distanced from who you're singing to, and a sense of intimacy with who you're singing to. So some of the things that can create closeness is singing in your spoken resonance. So like very close to how you speak. So for example, if I was just talking and then all of a sudden I'm singing, "Don't you wanna go?" You can kind of hear how it's very close to where I speak. A really good example of this, if you want to go look it up, is the song Mother Earth by Banks. The artist is Banks. And how she starts the song, you can just really hear, it's like she's talking to you because it's so close to her normal speaking voice. So that is one way that we can create intimacy, is by sounding like you're talking to somebody, like conversation, or like you're talking to a close friend. And that naturally makes people like, oh, I need to hear what this is, because they get the impression that you're sharing something important with them. Another way that you can create a feeling of like closeness, or maybe more like the listeners buying into your emotion, is to use a cry sound. So close to the sound of a cry, ah, kind of like that. And we humans kind of like are attuned to hear those just for survival, because we're attuned to listen for our babies cry. We're attuned to listen for someone crying out in danger, and then we know there's danger, that kind of thing. So if you hear that kind of thing, people like Bruno Mars do this really well to really give you a sense of what they're feeling and almost bring you along on the ride or the story of the song with them. Another way that you can do it is by allowing the natural vocal cracks or breaks or roughness that happens when when you have emotion. So, you know, you've probably heard that Anne Hathaway, to prepare for her role in Les Mis, practiced singing while she was crying. And that's because singing, having control over your voice